So then guys, apologies for having to do a separate video on the diesel heater, but this is just going to be me showing you how to use this particular controller here. So very, very simple. All you've got is a main on and off switch here over on the right hand side. So we'll just wait for it to completely turn off, because I've just turned it off a second ago, so it's just running its way down. So if you see this little green marker inside, as soon as that goes off, it should allow us, it should come up saying off. It's basically on like a cool down system kind of thing. So if we just wait a few seconds for that, in the meantime, on the left hand side we've got, if you press OK, we've got the internal temperature. The first one is 15, so it's telling us it is 15 degrees inside the vehicle. And we've got the temperature that we've got the vehicle set to. So we've got it set to 20 degrees. So when we get it to turn back on in a minute, it should then try and heat the van up to 20 degrees and stop itself when it does. All right, so if we just wait a minute, just allow this diesel heater to turn itself off. So the fan has just stopped running, so any second now it should, there you go. So you see there where the two little up and down arrows just stopped, that's just telling you now that the heater is completely disengaged and it's sort of turned itself off. So even though we can go through and we can see internal temperature, target temperature and a few other things as well, now that these two things aren't flashing at us and this fan's thing isn't spinning at us, it means the heater isn't on. So if we now turn it on, all sort of springs back to life, and after a few seconds or so we'll get another little symbol come on down here, which is the sign for the diesel pump. All right, so as long as the target temperature here is higher than the first number that comes up, the diesel heater should spring to life and start pumping through some hot air. The longer you leave it on, the more bars you'll get on inside the heater here, which is basically just telling you how efficient the heater's working, how much heat is pumping out. But again, if we just wait a few seconds, we should any minute now get the other one come on there, which is the fuel pump. They can take a few minutes just to sort of start pumping through the diesel, but we'll just wait here for a second just to make sure that it does. So again, in the meantime, I can just feel we've got air pumping through now. It's not hot yet, but it is pumping through, so the heater is engaging. And we're just waiting for it to spring to life with the fuel. See if it makes any difference if I turn the target up a little bit more. See, the voltage has gone down a little bit as well because we were drawing some power from it, and there you go. So that little diagram, that little symbol there at the bottom here, is telling us that the diesel heater is engaging and it's drawing fuel through, and any second now the heating coming through there will start really warming up quite quickly. So the only other thing I will say about it is that when you go to turn it off, so if I press and hold here and turn it off, it comes up saying off there. You do have to leave this for a little while and wait for these two little lights and the fan to stop spinning before you'll be able to turn it back on again. All right, if you go to try and turn it back on again right now, it won't do anything. It will just, the screen won't work. So you need to wait for it to completely cool down before you'll be able to turn it back on again. But when you do that, you just go through the same process that we've just done now. So as I said, you can always see the internal temperature and the target temperature, regardless of how, whether the actual heater is running or not, and the voltage that it's getting. But that's it. So on and off from there, target temperature and internal temperature from the OK button, and allow it to completely turn off before you start trying to turn it back on again. But that's it. That's the diesel heating in this particular vehicle, and I hope that made sense. Any of these sort of types of diesel heating dials do work the same way. And the only other thing I will point out is if you have a different version of this, or if you have another vehicle that has this same controller and you find that when you click through past, so this is the first one is the internal temperature, when we press it again, if it comes up with something hertz, so HZ at the end, so it'll be something like 3.5 or something like that, press the two top buttons together at the same time. So that's the settings button and the up button. Press them both at the same time and it will change it from hertz to temperature, which is the Celsius one here, and you'll then be able to select like that. All right, so that's just in case that ever happens to anybody else. But yeah, there you go. Thanks very much.